PlayStation 4 emulation has revealed itself, and it is quite something. As it may have gleamed from the rest of the internet, PS4 emulation just isn't ready. And as such, disclaimer, this emulation in its current state as of the making of this video is very early. The big question is, will this emulator be playable sometime this year or maybe even next year? It's hard to know for certain, but I have faith it will. The emulator is called ShadPS4, not to be confused with Shadman. As the name implies, this is designed to play PS4 titles, or at least it will play PS4 titles. The UI looks very reminiscent of something like RPCS3, but a lot less refined for obvious reasons. There's a vested interest in getting this emulator up and running as soon as possible, for one game, of course. What game is this? Well, you probably know what it is. Bloodborne, the From Software title that never made it to PC, and the one exclusive Sony will not port to PC for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you what that reason is, but it's a thing. This emulator has seen major developments trying to get Bloodborne up and running, and there's footage of Bloodborne running on a PC, from multiple different sources I might add. In fact, I could get it running on my own PC, but as soon as I try to make a character, well, let's just say things go south really quickly. Now granted, my gaming PC is no longer the top-end beast it once was, but trying to run this on my 3070 while recording it, while also having DaVinci Resolve open in the background, was not a good time. Like the rest of you, I've seen that one video where someone runs Bloodborne on a Steam Deck, and it's very impressive. The game looks very glitchy, yes, and yes, the game's lighting is completely messed up. And yes, this video doesn't showcase any actual gameplay, this is just him standing in the hunter's dream. But the game somehow runs at 30 FPS. Now, I'm not sure how well this game will run once all the graphical effects are actually working as intended, but 30 FPS regardless is still quite impressive. But seeing the number of hoops you have to jump through just to get Bloodborne up and running is quite frankly insane. But there's nothing quite like a good adventure. I've been working with people in my community, and I've been working with another content creator known as DeckWizard. All of this just to try to replicate these results, try to get Bloodborne up and running on a Steam Deck. I've spent countless hours trying to get Bloodborne up and running on a Steam Deck. On the Windows version, I didn't have to jump through a million different hoops to try to get it up and running. And yes, I couldn't get past the character selection screen, but that's a lot further than what I got with the Steam Deck. With the Steam Deck, the game wouldn't load or straight up was a black screen. I've tried every single task, every single tool, every single quote-unquote workaround that I could find. I've tried the native Linux version, I've tried the Windows version, I've tried a quote-unquote custom build that is supposed to implement fixes to make Bloodborne run on a Steam Deck, which it still didn't for whatever reason. Some YouTubers claim that you need to delete certain files off of the literal game files to get it up and running, to get past the black screen on a Steam Deck, and I've tried that and it didn't work either. DeckWizard managed to get the game up and running, with help from the guy that got Bloodborne running on the Steam Deck to begin with. Part of me wonders what the difference was. Was it because I used the original version of the game, with separate DLCs and updates applied, while DeckWizard used the Game of the Year version with everything built into it already? But he did specify that he'll reveal all of the instructions soon, so do check out DeckWizard's channel when you have the chance. But me personally, I've seen some of the steps involved in trying to get Bloodborne up and running, and I'm gonna level with you, I don't feel like doing them at all. Plus, in its current state, the fact that the game is up and running at all on a Steam Deck is monumental. But as it stands right now, the game is straight up unplayable, and as a result, I'll have to wait and see when the game gets a little more playable and when you don't have to do a million different instructions to get Bloodborne up and running on your Steam Deck. As of the making of this video, August the 24th, this emulator is still very much work in progress. But I see progress moving very fast with this emulator. So maybe there's a good chance I'll be covering this again really soon. But we did try other games. We tried games like Sonic Mania, and Sonic Mania, that boots, and that's like the first game anyone tries on these new emulators, and I mean, for good reason. It just works. Aside from the game looking extra blurry for some reason, the game looks like it runs great. It looks like you're just playing the PC version of the game. I haven't seen any egregious errors or crashes or anything of the sort, not yet at least. Of course, we're just in the first act. There's no telling if this game will run this good later on in the game. And honestly, I'm not gonna bother, because if you want to play Sonic Mania, then buy the PC version and play it that way. I promise you, it'll be 1,000 times better. But there's something weird about that blurriness, because we tried out Freedom Planet and Freedom Planet looks a lot crisper. And I mean, what more can I say? These look pretty good. But both Sonic Mania and Freedom Planet are games you can get on PC and run far more efficiently. How much more efficiently? Well, let's take a look at this. 18 watts just for the title screen of Freedom Planet, a game that runs extremely efficiently on PC. It is worth reiterating that yes, this is work in progress. So results like this are to be expected for quite some time. ShadPS4 will use literally every resource it can to get games up and running. But what about some other titles? Did those work? We've tried out every single one of these games, and none of them launch. At least not on Steam Deck. Aside from the aforementioned Sonic Mania and Freedom Planet, the compatibility here isn't great. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great that games can run at all, even if it is relatively simple and lighter games. And of course, it'll only go up from here. There's no telling how fast ShadPS4 will improve, but given how much is going into this project trying to get just Bloodborne up and running, I'm certain that within like a year or two, we'll have a far more playable emulator. The fact that Bloodborne runs at 30 FPS on a Steam Deck already is very impressive. And typically, optimization is like the last thing you do. The first thing you try to do is actually get the games up and running and improve compatibility. And of course, try to get the games rendering the way they would on a real PS4. So hopefully in a future video where I showcase more ShadPS4 footage, which I probably will, more and more games will be actually playable, or at the very least, bootable. PlayStation 4 emulation is no longer a pipe dream. While it's still in its infancy, PS4 emulation already existing and being a thing is nothing short of amazing. The first major hurdle has already been overcome. Things can only get better from here. My hope is that we don't just see Bloodborne up and running and playing, but we see some of the other AAA titles up and running. I don't know, Infamous Second Son or something, since it seems like Sony's not going to port any of the Infamous games to PC. There's also The Last of Us Part 2, which has yet to receive a PC port. Will it though? I'm not entirely sure. But whatever the case is, ShadPS4 is getting rapid updates, and so we will update you on further developments on this emulator. If you like this video, please press the like button and check out our other videos. And if you like those other videos as well, be sure to press the subscribe button and share the good gospel of high-tech lowlife with your friends. Furthermore, we have a community Discord for enlightened individuals such as you. And if you wish to further support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description.